Week off is over, and now it's time to get ready for the stretch run. Alabama, LSU, interim coach. Alabama, Oklahoma, huge game, just like LSU. Alabama, Auburn, interim coach. We're going to talk about the coaching situation right now in the SEC. We'll get into the standings and how tight the race is to make the championship game. Auburn firing Hugh Freeze today. Bama basketball ranked in the top 25 and getting ready to start the regular season schedule. All that right here on the Bama Tailgate Show. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Brought to you by Pearl River Resort, Philadelphia, Mississippi. The Azaleas, the Oaks, two amazing golf courses at Dancing Rabbit. Let's get this thing going. I feel like, and I don't know why, I guess just because it is game week now, I'm fired up. And I can't wait for Saturday, and it's going to take a long time to get there because I'm so ready for football. All right, let's go. Peace, everybody. Mick Gillespie, and welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show. On our channel, like, subscribe, thumbs up. We're brought to you by Pearl River Resort. We talk about that constantly on here because it's an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 and change from Birmingham. It's a quick trip over, and it gives you Vegas-style sports book at the Golden Moon Casino, and you don't have to go all the way out to Vegas to get it. Who would have bet at the beginning of the season that we would be in this situation right now? 4 games left to go. 2 of the SEC coaches that Alabama has to face, and I think really good coaches, both fired. Some of you guys are going to argue with me on this. Brian Kelly's a good coach. Hugh Freeze is a good coach. They just are. Like, you can say what you want to say about the success that they've had. They're not Nick Saban, but they're good coaches. Like, there's a time that at Alabama, before Saban got there, you would have took either one of these guys. You would have took either one of these guys over Mike Shula, who got fired. And when I watched Alabama against South Carolina, I had flashbacks. Are you surprised that he got fired? No. And I have nothing but respect for what he did at Alabama and the type of person he is. But as a coach, he is fourth quarter. Guess what? You're not going to win. You're going to be conservative, and you're going to lose. And that's what we saw, and that's what happened to them. And then now he's out. And I would have taken Hugh Freeze, and I would have taken Brian Kelly before Saban showed up over both of those guys. Now, I'm pretty happy with Kalen DeBoer. And I wonder, in Kalen DeBoer's mind, like how long he feels like he's going to stick at Alabama. I hope for a long time. But the pressure right now to succeed is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And that's not just in Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's around college football, which is crazy to me. Now, I'm going to talk about Hugh Freeze and getting fired at Auburn later on in the show. So just know that's coming. But it's just crazy how fast coaches get fired. And look, if Kalen DeBoer hadn't have addressed the Alabama we saw against Florida State, yeah. And then all he's done is just do a fantastic job. And I'm glad. I think we all are. All right, top 25 came out. You saw the banner there. Bama number 4 in the latest top 25. So they're not going up. They're not going down. They're staying right where they're at. And I look at this and I say, okay, I like where Alabama's at, right? Ohio State 1, Indiana 2. Indiana, I mean, Kurt Cinetti, I mean, is this guy supposed to be like 9-0 at Indiana? He is. Texas A&M 3, they're 8-0. They beat Notre Dame. They're undefeated. Bama is the first team that's not undefeated there. Part of that is that they beat Georgia. They're the only team in the top 25 that's beaten 4 top 25 teams. Georgia 5, they barely got by against Florida. If anybody watched that game, Florida got robbed on a catch at the end of that game. I'm so sick of instant replay. The guy got his arms under it. Like, why are we making catches? Like, I don't think instant replay was supposed to take catches away from people. But if the officials get it wrong on the field, they're going to get it wrong in the press box if they can't figure out a definitive angle for the catch, right? With that said, it probably helps Alabama that Georgia won, right? Because they don't play Florida. Georgia's 5 at 7-1. Oregon 6 at 7-1. They only lost to Indiana. Ole Miss 8-1, and they don't play any more games until, well, they play games, but they're not going to have anybody push them until Mississippi State, and Mississippi State could beat them. I'm just going to throw that out there for you. BYU come from behind win. They're 8-0 now. They're number 8. Texas Tech is 8-1. They're up 4 spots. Notre Dame 6-2. They're up to number 10. Oklahoma beat Tennessee. I watched that entire game. Oklahoma's front is ferocious. Bama better be ready. Then you got, Virginia and Texas beat Vandy. Vandy down to 15. Georgia Tech lost. They go all the way down 8 spots to 16. Missouri's 19. They were off. And Tennessee falls to 23. Tennessee's a good team, but they too many pick sixes, as we know. And they haven't beaten anybody, but they've beaten everybody they're supposed to beat. So that's where we're at right now. So for Bama, you got LSU, you got Oklahoma, what is it, Eastern Illinois, and then you go to Auburn. So it is a tight race right now, ladies and gentlemen, to make it to Atlanta. And some of you guys are like, I don't even want to make it to Atlanta, which is crazy. I think you want to win a championship every chance you get to do it. All right, look behind me. Spent the last 2 days redoing the studio so that you guys could see Daniel Moore. Promo code's Bama Tailgate. This week, and this week only, Bama versus LSU, Heisman Heights, anything Heisman Heights, with Smitty making that incredible high point catch. You know the one I'm talking about, against LSU, 30% off. Big print, small print, mug, whatever you want. So take advantage of that. If you have any problems with it, call my man Jeff at New Life Art. He'll get you fixed. But the promo code's Bama Tailgate, 30% off right now. But look, you got Mark Sears. The Mark Sears print's coming this way. It's going right next to my Antoine Petway print. How about Ryan Williams making that immaculate reception? There's my LSU print. You got it down on the bottom there. It's up there. That was one of the best games I ever went to. They didn't get past the 50. I can't do the studio without having Coker in there. I mean, he's just got to be in here because he's in here. All you guys take advantage of it. Bama Tailgate, 30% off right now. Heisman Heights with Smitty against LSU. Will this game be a Daniel Moore print game? I think he's got to do the Tennessee game. So that's Caden Proctor, crispy screen, and then he's going to have to do the Tennessee game. I'm sure he's probably like, man, I don't need Mick telling me what I need to do, but everybody wants the Tennessee interception to the house. I said, do it just like the Bobby Humphrey print and have Brown streaking past Tennessee for 6. Guys, AveD right there. Stay connected. Promo code right there at the bottom. Mick Nation. We're giving hats away and other stuff. So anyway. All right. Tight race for the SEC championship. The standings right now look like this. Texas A&M and Bama 5-0. Ole Miss 5-1. Georgia 5-1. Bama beat them. They don't play Ole Miss. They don't play Texas A&M. Texas is 4-1. Oklahoma's 3-2. Vandy 3-2. Tennessee 3-3. I think if Tennessee's out, Vanderbilt's going to be tough. Oklahoma's going to be tough. I think this is a race between A&M, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, and Georgia. And Georgia's going to be there. Ole Miss, you look at their schedule, they're going to get a game against Mississippi State, but the tough part of their schedule's out of the way. They're playing Florida at home and they're at Starkville. So that's interesting, but I think those are two games that they should win. For A&M, you look at them right now, a little bit more of a difficult schedule at Missouri. That's a losable game versus South Carolina without Mike Shula. And then they play Texas at the end of the year. Finally, Texas A&M. You guys are going to love that, right? That's how it should be, just like Alabama, Auburn. So one of those two teams is going to be out of it. This is a lot of fun. Oklahoma, obviously Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. So, they're not in the clear at all. But the SEC is as good as it's ever been. Oklahoma and Texas, tough schedules. This isn't the Big 12. They've made our schedules tougher. We've made their schedules tougher. The fact that Vandy hung in there on Texas like that, even though it was one of those games where I felt like Vanderbilt got blown out. They hung in, but they're not going to be in the mix now. They lost. And I heard their coach talking about it after the game, and he's like, when we came in this, we just assumed we were just going to, walk in and be there. Hey, it doesn't work like that. And then by the time they ramped it up, it was too late. That's the tough part about being Alabama. That's the tough part about wearing the Alabama jersey, Vandy. You got in the top 10 for a couple weeks. How about being in the top 10 for like 20 years, 15 years? Every week, you better be ready to go. The difference is nobody's talking. Hey, good job, Vandy. Alabama loses, it's headline news. And these guys have embraced that this year. After their debacle against Florida State, they've turned it into a positive. And, we'll see what happens. They were in this exact same spot last year, maybe not exactly the same, but close to it. Take care of business against LSU and Oklahoma, and you're in. Throw Auburn into that mix, too. Game by game. If you look to the next game, you're going to lose. You got to just focus on the next game. What's LSU going to be like without Brian Kelly? We don't know. It's in Tuscaloosa. You feel good about that. But if they take their foot off the gas, they're beatable. And all of those coaches at LSU are trying to get a job. They want to work too. They want to get that head coaching job. Beating Alabama puts them on the top of that list. I watched in the split box Auburn against Kentucky. And I want to tell you guys this. I love when Auburn loses. I do. I hate them. Like, not personally, but it benefits Alabama when Auburn's bad. Go out and recruit and take their best recruits. Go out there and get the best players in the state. There's no Cam Newton coming to save them. I think John Cohen is a really, really good college AD. And Hugh Freeze, I think, is a good coach. And I think it's a mistake firing him. Because I think he would eventually have turned it around. His track record shows you that. But the issue is he stinks right now. And I don't know how the Auburn program got to the point where they scored 3 at home against Kentucky. But that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. And I get why they fired him. The issue is, how much money do you have remaining on that contract, right? And are you willing to pay that off, right? And that's the tough part about these hot firings. Hugh Freeze, who came from, obviously was at Ole Miss and gave us trouble there, and then, got in trouble with the NCAA and then went to Liberty. We tried to hire him as our offensive coordinator. Saban did. Lost 10-3 to Kentucky. And what I'm going to tell you right now was just pathetic. He should have stuck with the one quarterback. He tried to do the 2 quarterback thing, and it never works. They were chanting "Fire Hugh" when he walked off the field. The Tigers are 15-19 in Freeze's 2 seasons. and they'd lost 5 out of their last 6. Right? They had their win against Baylor, and then after that, it was like you beat Ball State and South Alabama, and then, right down the bowl. But they were competitive. I just look at the list of coaches that right now are available. James Franklin, Billy Napier, Brian Kelly. I talked about him. Sam Pittman got fired. Bobby Petrino's there. He's not going to get hired. He can't win a game. Now, DJ Durkin, who was the Maryland coach, is the Auburn interim. He was at Maryland and then actually was not doing a terrible job with the Terps, but had a player die, and that's, obviously, awful. I mean, just awful. And he got fired, and he's been a good defensive coordinator. He'll be there. Vandy Mercer and Alabama left for Auburn. And this program is just in dire straits. You wonder how much money they had to go out and hire a coach. Now they're going to have to pay him, some like $20 million, somewhere in there, maybe a little less. And then you're going to have to contend with, this state, with Alabama. So you start firing these guys, and it sounds great, right? Because you're not winning right now. But if Auburn would have been patient, the guy would have turned it around. I'm just telling you. I think this is great. Just like when they fired Gus, I was like, you know what? Fire Gus and go hire Brian Harsin. Like all this magic money that you're paying these head coaches to get fired. Where's it coming from? Then you got to do NIL and stadium stuff, and you're paying for sports that nobody's showing up to. It's crazy to me. Hey, guys, I just feel like that Kalen DeBoer and his staff should capitalize on this when it comes to recruiting and just keep burying these guys. And it is tough because now, look, you're going up against LSU. You're going up against Arkansas. You're going up against Penn State. You're going up against all these different coaches been fired. So all those programs are looking for coaches. Where does Auburn slot in? It's like my dad used to say, money talks and bullshit walks. Well, how much money do you have? And can you imagine? Somebody was telling me that the guy that owns Raising Cane's is going to pick up like the Brian Kelly salary. Like if I'm one of the employees there, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm over the fryer all the time, throwing your fried chickens out and, your rice and dealing with these customers and one of the worst jobs you can have. And you're going to pay off the coach that lost a couple games? What about giving me a raise? So I don't know. Is it pressure treated wood? It's paying for this. Anyway, sorry, Auburn, but you guys made another mistake, and I love it. All right, final thing I want to get to on the show today. And we got a great week, by the way, of guests that are going to be on here. But Bama basketball ranked number 15 and back in action. Can you believe that it's basketball season again? They're going to play against North Dakota. This was a 2-for-1. Alabama did this deal because of their all-time greatest North Dakota player, the mustache man himself, Grant Nelson. Bama back in action November the 3rd. So that's Monday, 7 o'clock, Tuscaloosa, Coleman Coliseum. And that's great, right? So it's the season opener for the Tide. Ranked this year. Again, Nate Oates seems to do a great job with these teams that come in and you're like, what are we doing here? He always seems to figure it out. Nate Oates, to me, is Bama's all-time best basketball coach. Love CM Newton, obviously. Mark Godfrey was a hell of a coach for a while, too. Wimp Sanderson, probably the other guy that you look at and go, hey, this is the other great coach. Nate's better than all of them, and that's no disrespect to them. It's just how special this guy is. So enjoy it as the season rolls on. All right, guys, I do want to tell you this before I get off here, about BOD Coach, and it's bod.coach/Bama. You need to check this out. I know that the holiday season's coming. I know, because it is. And you can already tell that you're going to be dealing with a lot more eating than you probably feel comfortable with. But when you go to grandma's house or your mom's house or your in-laws' house and they pull out the turkey and the dressing and the mashed potatoes and the candied yams and the whatever it is, you got to eat it. And your body's not going to like that, because it just isn't. So you better be ready to work out. BOD Coach has got you covered. You tell your BOD Coach, hey, I got no weights. I got 20 minutes. I want to do this group, and he'll send a killer workout for you. And I promise you, and I'm just telling you because I love it so much, that it is worth it, man. So check it out. Just at least go look at it. But through the holiday season, as you're trying to get in shape, you're going to need to rely on somebody, because we don't have Scott Cochran to give us a workout routine. At least most of us don't. Take advantage of BOD Coach and get in shape. Also, as always, brought to you by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. We are going there in 2 weeks. Yours truly is going to be featured on a commercial with the likes of Jake Coker and Steve Azar and Bo Bowens. So we're going to be there midweek in a couple weeks. It's a short drive from Tuscaloosa, 2.5 hours. Birmingham, a little over 2 hours. Vegas-style sportsbook. Bet on everything just like you're out in Vegas. And that is right there at the Golden Moon Casino. So take advantage of that. All right, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. We will talk with Mike Johnson tomorrow and get this thing cranked up for the LSU week. I'm excited about it, and a huge opportunity again for Alabama to put themselves in the driver's seat for the SEC championship game in the college football playoff. Roll Tide.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll!
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
We're presented by BOD Coach, and you can tell I'm slimming up over here, and it's because of BOD Coach. This is absolutely amazing. It's your personal trainer that is with you 24/7. So when I go to hotels or when I'm on the road, I type in, "Hey, look, I got equipment. This is what I have," and it'll make a workout specifically for me, what I want, what exercises I want. When I'm at home or I'm at a hotel and there's no way I can get to the gym, it'll say, "Hey, this is what I want to work on today," and it sends you personalized workout plans. It's really awesome. And they contacted me a few weeks ago to be a spokesman. I said, "Well, I want to try this." BOD Coach is fantastic. Like, I use it all the time. I mean, and if I'm telling you, man, like, it makes working out when you are on the go like me so much better. Just because I don't always know I didn't play football at Alabama. I didn't have Scott Cochran yelling, yeah, and telling me what workouts to do. So anyway, I'm going to put in the body on the YouTube all about BOD Coach. Get you guys signed up there, but tell them you heard it on Bama Tailgate.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.